What's up and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be showing you how I make my DIY whipped shea butter. This shea butter is specifically made for hair, although you can use it on the body. I just choose to use it only in the hair because it is so thick. And then I'm going to show you how I moisturize my toddler's natural hair. This is kind of like the same routine that I used to use when I had longer hair, but her hair has been super dry, so we're going to get it back to its moisturized self. So you'll need some shea butter. I'm using this African shea butter that I got from my local beauty store. I'm going to link below an Amazon shea butter that's much better. Coconut oil, and I got this one from Trader Joe's. A bowl of boiling water because you're going to melt your shea butter inside of it. And then a mixer. This is just a KitchenAid mixer that I borrowed or I'm using from my mother-in-law. And let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is set the shea butter. I just kept it in its container because it was so thin. And I'm going to allow it to melt a little bit. As you can see, the bottom of the bowl is getting softer. And so I just left it in until it looked about this. Most of it was melted. There is a huge chunk, but it'll whip up when we put it in the mixer. And then I have a helper, my little sister, so she's just adding 2 tablespoons of coconut oil to the KitchenAid bowl. And then I went in and we added the shea butter. Again, you can see the huge chunk, but most of it's melted. I just got impatient, but it all worked out. So I let this mix. It actually took a while. I want to say about 10 minutes. I kept checking it, but it took a while. And then you'll see here it's loose. And then it kind of thickens up. And then you can just let it mix to your desired consistency. I was okay with it being a little bit, like it's still whipped, but a little bit firmer because it is for hair. And so it kind of looks like an icing. It's thick and creamy. It's super moisturizing. Again, because it's coconut oil and shea butter, it's kind of thick. And so I tried to use it on my arms. It was just too like pore clogging. So I only recommend using this on hair. So this is how it looks. I just put it back into its container that it came in and stored it in there. But you can also use like a jar you can buy off of Amazon or something similar if you have like Tupperware. Right now, I'm just going to go ahead and take my daughter's hair down. So I washed her hair a week ago. And normally I try to go ahead and moisturize it in between the weeks that I wash it. Again, her hair is very dry right now, and it's just my fault, but I'm going to get it back on track. So after I take the braid down, I go ahead and finger detangle and separate the hair. I try to be as gentle as possible because it can be painful if you're too rough. So I like to go ahead and separate here. And then after it's all separated, and I feel like it's good enough to spray with water and go through with a comb, I will just take some, I forgot to mention, so this is my first time using rice water. My sister-in-law made rice water, and I wanted to try it out on my daughter's hair, so I sprayed it directly to her scalp, and then I massaged it in. It does not smell the best, but we will see how it does over time. So now I am sectioning her hair into a smaller section and just parting it off. My parts are nowhere near perfect here. This is no style. It's just kind of our quarantine look. Like we don't go anywhere. We don't do anything. So it's just to keep her hair moisturized. So I'm using a wide tooth comb and just combing through the section. And then I'm going to spray with some just normal water. Sometimes I add coconut oil to the water, but today it's just regular water. And I'm kind of squeezing the water into the strands of hair. And I drench the hair with water just to give it that hydration that it needs. And I just keep combing until I feel like the section is really detangled and any dead hair or shed hair is removed. Now I'm going in with my shea butter, and I use a generous amount of shea butter, to be honest. As I was watching these clips, I was like, okay, maybe I didn't need so much, but it's okay. It all works out. Any white parts that you see dry, And like I said, her hair is very dry right now, and so the moisture helps. So I'm just going through around the perimeter of her ponytail or her braid, and then taking the shea butter down the shaft of the hair to the ends. And then I also like to separate apart, and in between that add more, because as you can see, there are some strands that don't get anything. And so I want to make sure that her hair is completely coated after the water with shea butter. So after everything is all moisturized, I kind of go through and finger separate to define a part a little bit better. Go ahead and detangle it more, because once you add product, I don't know, it kind of tangles back up. And then I'll take a brush through, which is a little bit smaller of a tooth or teeth, and then brush through. I take a hard brush, I call it a hard brush. It's not that hard though. And then kind of smooth out the edges. And then I will go in and braid her hair up. I am not the best braider by any means, and I like to use braids instead of ponytail holders, because I find that they pull at her hair less and snag at her hair. And then the ponytail holder, she has like little short pieces that will want to wrap around the ponytails, and then I have a hard time taking them out, so I just braid her hair. And then I'm just repeating this process. I try to keep the process the same, but sometimes I forget to use for this section, I forgot to use the rice water, but for the most part, I used it all over her hair. Spray it with water. Go ahead and add the shea butter. Again, this shea butter is made with the coconut oil, and it's super moisturizing. This whole process is supposed to be used to seal in the moisture from the water. And I find that her hair is moisturized for at least a couple days, if not a week, before it's time to wash and redo the style. And the shea butter also has a nice hold, so I don't have to use any other products. And you can see here it's a little white and yellow from the product, but it dries completely white. And sometimes I'll take my finger and slide it down the braid to squeeze out any extra water or product and just use it in another section. So this is the back of her hair. Again, the parts are not straight, but that doesn't matter. The whole process is to help moisturize. So that is it for this moisturizing and DIY shea butter routine. This style lasts for a couple days. I'll be honest, she does not tie her hair up at night. I bought her a little silk bonnet, but it never stays on. So her edges and all of that kind of creep out, but that's okay. The whole point is just to get myself in a routine to moisturize her hair and stop it from being so dry. I hope you guys enjoyed the hair tutorial. If you have any further questions, make sure you comment below and I will be sure to get back to you, as well as subscribe to the video and give it a thumbs up if you want to see more content like this. And I will see you guys in the next video.